gathering public appearing shocked, concerned about the other officers restraining Floyd until he lost consciousness and later died.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 most impactful, disturbing, and profoundly significant incidents captured by body-worn cameras, recognizing the critical role these recordings have played in our understanding of these events.
Demons and voices, that is confessed Parkland's shooter, Nikolas Cruz, moments after being captured by police.
Number 20, Pulse nightclub attack. The horrifying events of June 12, 2016 saw the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history at the time unfold at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida.
Were people screaming? They were screaming. It was chaos. It felt like a war zone.
BodyCam footage vividly captures the sheer terror and chaos as law enforcement converged on the scene. Amidst the sounds of sustained gunfire from an AR-15 style rifle and the screams of victims, the recordings show officers, including those from the Orlando Police Department, making entry, navigating through the carnage, and attempting to locate and neutralize the shooter, Omar Mateen. The raw footage highlights first responders who ran toward immediate danger, not knowing where the assailant was or what further threats awaited them in the crowded club where 49 people were killed.
The focal point of a nation still reeling from the carnage that took place just up the street at the Pulse nightclub.
Number 19, January 6th, United States Capitol attack. The unprecedented assault on the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021 was chronicled from numerous angles, but bodycams offered an especially visceral perspective from the front lines.
To use a favorite term that all of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
These recordings, largely from U.S. Capitol Police and Metropolitan Police Department officers, allowed for an unvarnished view of the chaos and violence as thousands of rioters breached security and clashed with outnumbered law enforcement officers intent on disrupting the certification of the 2020 presidential election, which Joe Biden won. Footage showed officers being overwhelmed, attacked with improvised weapons like flagpoles and chemical irritants, and struggling to contain the surging crowds. They captured the raw fear, the physical toll, and the desperate efforts of police to defend the Capitol and the lawmakers inside.
People were saying, well, this just can't happen. And these groups of folks, they can't do that. Well, now we know they can.
Number 18, Boulder shooting. On March 22, 2021, a mass shooting at a King Soopers grocery store in Boulder, Colorado, tragically claimed 10 lives, including that of Officer Eric Talley, an 11-year veteran of the Boulder Police Department, who was among the first to respond.
Eric Talley died heroically. He died charging into the line of fire to save people who were simply trying to live their lives and go food shopping.
Bodycam footage gives a harrowing first-person account of the initial moments as police entered the store. They show the disciplined and courageous approach of law enforcement as they systematically clear aisles, searching for the active shooter amidst the terrorized shoppers. The footage highlights the immense risk involved in confronting an armed shooter, illustrating the officers' training and determination to protect civilians.
As the gunfire rang out, shoppers scattered. Witnesses described grabbing their friends and running for the exits. Police responded with tactical gear, surrounded the store, and went in.
Number 17, killing of Stephon Clark. The shooting death of Stephon Clark by Sacramento police officers on March 18, 2018, sparked widespread protests and a national debate over police use of force, largely fueled by the body camera footage.
Cops responding to a vandalism call. Police helicopters already hovering above begin to zero in and track Clark.
Officers Terrence Mercadal and Jared Robinet responded to a report of a man breaking car windows in the 7500 block of 29th Street and found Clark in his grandmother's backyard. The bodycam footage from multiple officers shows a chaotic and dimly lit scene. Officers confronted Clark, believing he was holding a gun, and discharged their firearms a total of 20 times. It was later determined that Clark was unarmed, possessing only a cell phone.
The Sacramento mayor says the community still has its own questions about whether Clark's killing was justified.
Number 16, Virginia Beach shootings. The mass shootings at a municipal building in Virginia Beach, Virginia on May 31, 2019 resulted in 12 fatalities and multiple injuries.
You hear this all the time on the news, but you don't think it's ever going to happen to you.
Bodycam footage provided a terrifying glimpse into the active shooter situation as police confronted the perpetrator, Dwayne Craddock, a disgruntled city employee. The recordings captured officers moving methodically through the labyrinthine building too, engaging in a protracted gun battle with the assailant across multiple floors. The sound of rapid gunfire echoing through offices and hallways creates an incredibly tense and dangerous atmosphere. The footage showcases the officers who repeatedly exposed themselves to direct fire, working to neutralize the threat and protect civilians inside.
This is the most devastating day in the history of Virginia Beach.
Number 15, killing of Adam Toledo. Responding to reports of gunshots in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, officers pursued 13-year-old Toledo and an older man into an alley.
The officer said the suspect had a gun. A still image from that video tonight. Adam Toledo, his hands right there. Authorities say a handgun was later found a few feet away.
The highly scrutinized footage from Officer Eric Stillman shows a chaotic chase in the dead of night. Stillman commands Toledo to drop a weapon and in approximately 800 milliseconds fires a single shot, striking the teen in the chest. Crucially, the video slowed down for public analysis appeared to show Toledo dropping a gun and beginning to raise his hands just before being shot. The release of this graphic footage intensified debates over police procedures, the use of force against minors, and the implications of split-second decisions.
You see Mr. Toledo raise his hands and turn around. If you look at that and listen to what is going on, he is following the directions of the police officer and he's shot.
Number 14, shooting of Daniel Shaver. Officers were responding to a report of a man pointing a rifle out of a La Quinta Inn and Suites hotel window in Mesa, Arizona.
Someone had called police saying Shaver had a rifle and was pointing it out the window.
The footage captures the extremely tense encounter inside a hotel hallway, where a visibly distraught Shaver, unarmed, is ordered to crawl on the ground by police officer Philip Brailsford, who gives increasingly frantic and confusing commands. After Shaver instinctively reaches toward his waistband, Brailsford fires 5 rounds, killing him. The disturbing footage later played during Brailsford's murder trial, where he was acquitted, showcased the officer's aggressive commands and Shaver's desperate attempts to comply.
Brailsford is criminally charged with murder. He was later acquitted.
Number 13, Nashville school shooting. The tragic shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee on March 27, 2023, where 6 people, including 3 9-year-olds, lost their lives, was captured by police body cameras.
Audrey Hale, now identified by police as the person who shot through a locked door to get into the school about 10:30 this morning.
The released footage shows officers upon arrival moving through the school building, methodically clearing classrooms and bravely confronting the active shooter, Audrey Hale. The sounds of distant gunfire, the officers' search, and their ultimate confrontation with the heavily armed assailant are starkly documented. Within 14 minutes of the initial 911 call, officers Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo located Hale on the 2nd floor and neutralized the threat.
They have found evidence that the attacker cased the school and had maps of the layout. A planned attack, they say, was executed about 10:30 this morning.
Number 12, Dayton shooting. Just hours after the devastating El Paso shooting, another mass casualty event occurred in Dayton, Ohio, on August 4, 2019, claiming 9 lives.
Authorities say police responded in less than 30 seconds to a gunman who opened fire in a popular nightlife area in Ohio's 6th largest city.
BodyCam footage released by the Dayton Police Department demonstrated a startling, almost real-time perspective of the swift police response that prevented even greater loss. The recordings show officers patrolling the Oregon District entertainment area when the shooter, Connor Betts, opened fire. Crucially, the footage captures the rapid engagement of police who converged on the shooter within approximately 30 seconds of the first shots. This swift action is credited with putting a stop to Betts' rampage before he could inflict more harm.
So stopping him before he could get inside there, where you saw all the people they were running in there for protection, was essential and minimizing to the degree we could casualties and deaths from this incident.
Number 11, Tyre Nichols beating. Multiple camera angles from various officers, predominantly from the Memphis Police Department's now disbanded Scorpion unit, captured the brutal beating and subsequent death of Tyre Nichols during a traffic stop.
The 29-year-old father of one was only blocks from home on January 7th when stopped for what was called reckless driving, though the police chief says no video exists to support that claim.
The footage shows Nichols being repeatedly punched, kicked, and pepper sprayed by several officers near Rains Road and Interstate 55. The distressing footage reveals Nichols' desperate attempts to comply, contrasted with the officer's failure to render aid for over 20 minutes. This footage not only documented a profound act of police brutality, but also forced a difficult and necessary national conversation about accountability, misconduct, and the urgent need for reform. It led to the swift firing and indictment of officers Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin III, and Desmond Mills Jr.
3 officers convicted Thursday were found guilty on counts of witness tampering, and 1 was found guilty of civil rights violation.
Number 10, Uvalde school shooting. The Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas on May 24, 2022 tragically claimed the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers.
Authorities gave differing accounts of what happened, raising questions about how law enforcement responded as the rampage continued for 77 minutes.
BodyCam footage captures the initial moments of chaos, the sounds of gunfire from inside the school, and officers' agonizing wait for over an hour before breaching the classroom where the shooter, Salvador Ramos, was barricaded. The recordings documented the palpable fear, the conflicting commands, and the profound confusion among various agencies present, painting a damning picture of a delayed and disorganized response overseen by Chief Pete Arredondo. It paints a disconcerting picture that officers held back, receiving updates and waiting for equipment while those inside were dying and calling 911.
There's compelling evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure and antithetical to everything we've learned over the last 2 decades since the Columbine massacre.
Number 9, Dylann Roof arrest. The arrest of Dylann Roof, the perpetrator of the horrific Charleston church massacre on June 18, 2015, chillingly concluded a national manhunt.
21-year-old Dylann Roof finally captured this morning during a traffic stop across state lines in Shelby, North Carolina, more than 200 miles from Charleston.
After murdering 9 parishioners during a Bible study at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina, Roof fled only to be apprehended in Shelby, North Carolina. BodyCam footage from the arresting officers of the Shelby Police Department captured the moment of his capture. The contrast between the heinous violence he had perpetrated just hours earlier and his placid demeanor during the arrest is particularly striking, as he offered no resistance and calmly identified himself. Roof, aged 21 at the time of the massacre, is currently on death row, awaiting execution on several federal charges.
The most appropriate sentence is death. The justice delivered to these church families tonight is bittersweet.
Number 8, murder of Ahmaud Arbery. While the primary footage documenting the murder of Ahmaud Arbery on February 23, 2020 came from a civilian bystander, subsequent BodyCam footage from responding officers played a crucial role in establishing the timeline and the initial controversial handling of the case.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't have been there, but once again, if I hadn't have been there, there wouldn't have been no video.
These recordings show the first law enforcement officers arriving on the scene in the Satilla Shores neighborhood near Brunswick, Georgia, interacting with the 3 men involved, Travis and Gregory McMichael and William Roddy Bryan, and observing Arbery's body. The early BodyCam footage became critical in understanding the initial investigation, which did not lead to immediate arrests for Arbery's killing via shotgun during a jog. It gave context for the public's outrage over the delay in charges against the men who claimed a citizen's arrest.
They told police they were trying to make a citizen's arrest and believed that the unarmed young black man was connected to possible break-ins around their neighborhood in South Georgia.
Number 7, killing of Daunte Wright. The fatal shooting of Daunte Wright by Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter on April 11, 2021, fueled immediate protests and renewed calls for police reform.
At some point, we need officers to be held accountable, charged, and convicted. Amen. Just because you are the law don't mean that you're above the law.
During a traffic stop for an expired tag and an air freshener hanging from the mirror in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, officers attempted to arrest Wright after discovering an outstanding warrant. The agonizing footage clearly shows Potter's apparent confusion, seemingly mistaking her handgun for her taser in the heat of the moment. This raw, unedited recording became pivotal evidence in her subsequent manslaughter trial, revealing the tragic consequences of a fatal error under extreme pressure.
It is the sentence and judgment of this court that you shall be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 24 months.
Number 6, Las Vegas shooting. America's deadliest ever mass shooting, the Las Vegas attack on October 1, 2017, saw a lone gunman, Stephen Paddock, open fire on a music festival crowd from a 32nd floor suite in the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, killing 60 people and injuring hundreds.
It started at 10:08 p.m. The first reports of shots fired as singer Jason Aldean performed. Initially, there was confusion, many wondering if the sounds were part of the show.
Recordings capture the sounds of sustained automatic gunfire from modified semi-automatic rifles, echoing across the city. Officers scrambling to locate the source and the desperate efforts to rescue and aid the wounded amidst the pandemonium at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. These visuals put viewers directly into the shoes of first responders, navigating through a scene of unimaginable horror, trying to identify threats while evacuating concertgoers.
The final toll, staggering. 58 dead, over 850 injured. The deadliest mass shooting in modern American history.
Number 5, killing of Philando Castile. Much of the initial heartbreaking footage of Philando Castile's killing on July 6, 2016 came from his girlfriend Diamond Reynolds' live-streamed video. Subsequent release of BodyCam and dashcam footage provided critical additional perspectives.
Police dashcam video released just this week.
Well, sir. Good. How are you?
Shedding new light on the moments leading up to that shooting.
During a traffic stop for a broken taillight in Falcon Heights, Minnesota, Officer Geronimo Yanez shot Castile multiple times after Castile informed him he had a firearm for which he had a permit and was reaching for his identification. Body cam recordings were instrumental in the legal proceedings against Officer Yanez, who was later acquitted and fueled intense public debate about police training, the Second Amendment rights of black individuals, and the disproportionate use of force.
The verdict left a community reeling. This is Philando Castile's mother.
And I am so very, 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 very disappointed in the system here in the state of Minnesota.
Number 4, killing of Walter Scott. Scott's fatal shooting by North Charleston, South Carolina police officer Michael Slager on April 4, 2015 became a pivotal moment in the national conversation about police brutality, largely due to a bystander's cell phone video.
Was there ever a point where it looked like Mr. Scott was being aggressive towards Officer Slager?
Aggressive in a way of getting away of the cop, yeah. But not trying to punch the cop, hit the cop, or nothing. No, he's just trying to get away of the cop.
However, body cam footage from Slager and other responding officers also played a significant, albeit secondary, role in the broader investigation. Body cam footage captured the immediate aftermath of the shooting, showing Slager interacting with other officers, appearing to place his taser near Scott's body, and the subsequent scene as medical aid arrived. While cell phone video directly contradicted Slager's initial false report and was central to his conviction on federal civil rights charges, body cam footage helped to piece together the full chain of events.
Today is a good day for justice. I thank God for justice.
Number 3, Breonna Taylor raid. The tragic death of Breonna Taylor on March 13, 2020 during a no-knock raid on her Louisville, Kentucky apartment sparked national outrage.
No one has been held accountable. This is injustice, and this is a start clock for the next level of our protest.
While the officers involved in the initial breach and shooting were not wearing body cameras during the actual incident, a critical point of contention, footage from other officers who arrived after the shooting provided crucial insights into the immediate aftermath and the chaotic scene. These recordings captured officers clearing the apartment, their reactions to the unfolding tragedy as Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, had fired a warning shot, believing they were intruders, and the initial stages of evidence collection. The stark absence of body cam footage during the initial breach itself was a significant point of contention, raising questions about police protocol and transparency.
What we've been saying on day one, y'all learning what we've been saying was the truth. That they shouldn't have been there and that Breonna didn't deserve that.
Number 2, Nikolas Cruz arrest. After killing 17 students and staff at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, Cruz fled the scene on foot, blending in with fleeing students.
What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Body cam footage from officers of the Coral Springs Police Department, who apprehended him over an hour later, offers a disturbing glimpse of the shooter immediately after his heinous acts. The video shows Cruz being detained in a residential neighborhood, identifying himself with minimal resistance. This footage is significant not for capturing the violence itself, but for documenting the capture of pure evil, offering a stark contrast between the terror he inflicted and his apparent composure.
As deputies and officers gathered at the scene just a couple of miles from the school and all the bloodshed, the confessed shooter lay on the ground, crying and whimpering.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, murder of George Floyd. The murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin on May 25, 2020 stands as arguably the most impactful and widely viewed incident captured by body cameras, igniting a global movement for racial justice.
Anger over one man's death had turned into much more, an explosion of fury over years of mistreatment.
While much of the initial public outrage stemmed from bystander video, the release of body cam footage from multiple officers involved provided an even more comprehensive and unflinching look at the agonizing 9 minutes and 29 seconds that Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck at 38th Street and Chicago Avenue. The sheer brutality and disturbing indifference displayed in the body cam footage served as irrefutable evidence in Chauvin's subsequent murder trial, permanently altering the discourse around policing.
And all three of them squarely pointed the finger at Chauvin, saying he took over the scene, and they weren't aware of how serious the situation was when it came to George Floyd and his life. But clearly the jury here, Kara, not buying that argument.
What body cam footage do you find most impactful or eye-opening? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.